Hello everyone, my name is Joshua and I'll be solving 10 Days of JavaScript problem day 3. Try, catch, and finally. So we're going to complete the reverse string function. It has one parameter s and you must perform the following actions. Try to reverse string s using the split, reverse, and join methods. And if an exception is thrown, catch it and print the contents of the exceptions message on a new line and print s on a new line. If no exception was thrown, then this should be the reversed string. If an exception was thrown, this should be the original string. Alright, so before we go on, I should talk to you about what are exceptions. Alright, so as the problem states, it tells what it is. If you try to perform an action and you can't do it, it will throw an error. And that error will be captured by a try, catch, by the catch block. I realize that this might be a little bit more complex than I am intending. Maybe if I go to the example, it might give better information. So let's just say you have an input string of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you could realize you could output it as 4, 3, 2, 1. Since it's a string type, it can be reversed without throwing an exception. Let's just say that it's a number, like number 1, 2, 3, 4. You will realize that it'll throw out an exception message. You can't split a number because it's not a string. So what the catch block does, or the catch section of the code in this problem, what it should do is that it prints out the error that happens. The catch captures the error, and then the message from that is error or exception is that it shows you that you can't split a number. It's not a function. So let's begin. So let me try this right here. Okay, so I'll explain it better with the example right here. Catch. So there are three parts there's usually 3 parts of error handling. Error handling is that you want to make sure that when your code has an error, it doesn't stop and freeze your program. You can still do whatever you need. It just has to make sure that it has an idea of how to handle that one. So try means that you're going to try to perform that action, and if that action has any issues, you're going to be captured right here with the exception, and you'll find a way to deal with it. You can look more into the documentation provided right here in the JavaScript problem, like what they usually do. And let's see. And finally means that no matter what happens, regardless of the error and how it's handled, or if there's no error at all, it should still perform that action. So let's see how to deal with this. So let's see what I would try to do. Here it's telling me to try to do split, reverse, and join methods. Alright, so I'm going to say s.split. I split it by an empty space right here. That means it's going to turn into an array. Actually, split, join, and reverse, they're also mentioned in the documentation in JavaScript, but I'll give you a short explanation of what happens. Split means that you can split the string into an array based on whatever character you define right here. And in this case, there's no character defined. That means it just splits by each character of that string. So that, for example, if I do A, B, C, it's going to turn into A, B, C, like that, if this was a string. Let's continue on. Now I'm going to reverse it. And as it says, reverse means to reverse the values within that array. And join means I want to make it to return back into the resulting string again. S equals s.split.reverse.join. So what's happening right here is that I'm trying to reassign a new value to the string by reversing it per these bunch of methods. And if there's an issue, I console.log the exceptions message. Now the exception will tell you what that error was. And finally, console.log the string. If this action fails, I should still just return, it will print out this message right here, and it will execute this block no matter what happens, and it will print out that string value. Now let's just say that the reverse was successful. It will ignore this catch because there is no errors detected. But it would still, finally, no matter what happens, print out what that value was if this reverse was successful. So let's see if this works. Hopefully I didn't do any syntactical errors because I'm still learning about JavaScript. Oh boy, what did I do wrong here? Your outputs, 4, 3, 2, 1. It has the commas. I think I have to use this empty parentheses to join it back to normal. Let me see if that works. Awesome. I see. Join when okay, so by default, I believe the join method works If I'm wrong, comments, please correct me. I'm still a JavaScript novice like everyone else. Not even novice, a beginner too. But pretending to be an expert. Okay, so when I do join, the default join is that it's going to join it by commas. If I didn't, include a value, it's default value. But if I do it by an empty space, or not even empty space, just an empty value, it's just going to join it just the way it is, commenting it all without any separator value in between, which is nothing. Now I submit this code, it should work. Awesome. Alright guys, please like and subscribe, and if you do, when I become president, the first 10 people who subscribe to my channel, I'm going to make you guys part of my cabinet because we need mathematical geniuses to run my home country, which is not telling you. Have a good day, guys. See ya.